Kaelan lived in Doran, a village nestled among rolling hills. He was strong. He learned from his father, the village blacksmith. Kaelan hammered metal, but he dreamed of adventures. He yearned to be a warrior, to protect his home. The other villagers laughed. A blacksmith's son? They scoffed. Kaelan ignored them. He practiced with a wooden sword. He ran through the forest. He knew deep down that he was destined for more. One day, a rider arrived, breathless and afraid. He brought terrible news. A warlord, known as the Iron Khan, was approaching. The Iron Khan was ruthless, his army vast. They plundered villages, leaving destruction in their wake. Fear gripped Doran. Villagers whispered in hushed tones. They feared for their families, their homes, their lives. Kaelan felt a chill. This was the moment he had dreaded, but also, strangely, the moment he'd been waiting for. His heart pounded. He knew he had to act. He would protect his village, even if he had to stand alone. Kaelan's father saw the determination in his son's eyes. He nodded, understanding. He took his finest hammer, polished smooth from years of use, and handed it to Kaelan. "Protect them, son," he said, his voice rough with emotion. "You are stronger than you know." Kaelan took the hammer. It was heavy, but it felt right in his grasp. It was a blacksmith's tool, but it would be his weapon. He would fight for his home, for his family, for the future of Doran. He would show them the heart of a true warrior. Kaelan stood on a table in the village square. He raised the hammer. "The Iron Khan comes!" he shouted. His voice boomed, echoing through the tense silence. "Will we hide? Will we cower? No! We fight!" The villagers looked at each other. Kaelan's words ignited a spark in their hearts. One by one, they stepped forward. Farmers sharpened their pitchforks. Shopkeepers grabbed their brooms. They would stand with Kaelan. Section 5. The Spirit of Doran. Kaelan trained the villagers. He taught them to fight, to defend. He showed them that courage wasn't the absence of fear, but the will to fight despite it. They were a ragtag army, but they were united. They had the spirit of Doran on their side. The Iron Khan's army arrived at dawn. They were a terrifying sight, a sea of iron and anger. Kaelan stood at the front, his hammer gleaming. He felt fear, yes, but it was dwarfed by his determination. He would defend his home to his last breath. Section 6. Clash of Iron. The battle raged. The Iron Khan's soldiers were bigger, stronger, but the villagers fought with the ferocity of cornered wolves. Kaelan was everywhere, his hammer a blur of motion. He fought with the strength of 10 men, inspired by the courage of his fellow villagers. The tide began to turn. The Iron Khan's soldiers, used to easy victories, faltered. They had underestimated the spirit of this small village. They had underestimated the power of a blacksmith's son. Section 7. A new dawn. The Iron Khan, enraged, charged at Kaelan. He swung his massive axe. Kaelan dodged. He swung his hammer. The impact threw the Khan from his horse. Defeated, the Khan's army scattered. Kaelan stood over the fallen Khan, his hammer raised. He could have struck him down, but he hesitated. He had fought, he had won. He would not become what he had defeated. He lowered his hammer. Section 8. The heart of a warrior. The villagers erupted in cheers. They hoisted Kaelan onto their shoulders. He was their hero, the blacksmith's son who had saved them. But amidst the celebrations, Kaelan felt a profound sense of peace. He had found his purpose. He returned to his anvil, to his forge. He was still the blacksmith's son, but he was also the protector of Doran. He had learned that true courage wasn't about seeking glory, but about standing up for what was right. Section 9. True Strength. Years passed, the village of Doran prospered. The memory of the Iron Khan faded into legend. Kaelan continued to work at his forge, the hammer that had been his weapon now a tool of creation. He had learned that true strength wasn't found in muscle or steel, but in the heart. The children of Doran would gather around him, listening to his stories. They saw in him the hero, the warrior, but Kaelan saw himself in them. The hope for the future, the courage that burned bright in every heart. He knew that as long as that spirit lived on, Doran would be safe. He had shown them all that the heart of a true warrior beat strong in everyone.